20 years from now, what will be the you are not going to always have a calculator in your pocket? You're not going to have internet access everywhere. You're not always going to have someone to clean up after you. Robot butler has entered the chat. And what if your phone doesn't have service? And what if the battery dies? You won't always be living with your parents. You clearly aren't Asian. What's the Wi-Fi password? You are always going to have a calculator in your pocket. This is by far the most worrying one. I don't get it. Will it be in our heads or something? I have a right to online privacy. What if your car runs out of gas? Clean air doesn't grow on trees. The Lorax wants to know your location. You will not always have Mambo no. 5. Fingers crossed. Finish your food. There are people in Africa starving. Well done. I like this one. You're not always going to have autopilot in your car. Damn. Self-driving cars. Pay attention to the road. Cars don't drive themselves. Teachers saying you're not allowed to use a Wikipedia article. You can't be in two places at one time. This restaurant doesn't deliver. Although hopefully not, because we end up with another global pandemic so beeping soon. Close the door. You're gonna let all the cold out. You might be alone in the woods. Google can't write your paper for you. You'll never have a teleporter in your pocket. Driving your own vehicle. Your AI will not be with you all the time. You had to drive a car? It didn't drive you. Money doesn't grow on trees, because I hope at that time money does grow on trees. Enjoy it while you can. You're not always going to have Florida above the water. I think it'll be something like, you can't always look things up. But then we'll have a chip with all information implanted in our brains. You won't always be in student debt. These websites won't always self-code. You are not going to always have a vaccine in your pocket. You won't always have a clone that can be you in places you don't want to be. Go outside and get some fresh air. We won't always have a robot helper nearby. So we have to know how to wipe our own butts. You wouldn't print a car. You aren't gonna always have a gun in your bag. There will always be Google. You won't always have a COVID-19 test kit in your pocket. Computers are stupid, you can't expect them to understand what you really want. You won't have good quality online mobile games ever. You're not always gonna have robot organs. You need to learn to use your own organs. You're not always going to have Wi-Fi. You're not always going to have the opportunity to go outside once a month. Can't download human consciousness into machine. You're not always going to have an assault rifle in your pocket. Hopefully something along the lines of you'll never be financially stable unless you work 40 hours per week. You don't need to know how to cook. You can always go to a restaurant. Laptops will go extinct. Or OS will be on cloud. Phones will gone it all be neural chips. You're not always gonna have a computer drive you around. You have to learn to drive on your own. Noah Schnapp probably loves someone else. I'm a simp, LOLNGL. You can't expect Google to help you with everything. Don't forget to charge your phone. Don't drink and drive. What's a PC? Your life support will always be plugged in a wall. Toilets in self-driving cars. Road trips with kids would be fantastic if you'd better pee now. There isn't a stop for hours is no longer an issue. Teenager. The car drives itself. Mom. Mom. What if the autopilot stops working? Son. You're not living in a smart home. Wait, gotta charge my phone real quick. A adapter to recharge your phone. In 20 years are you gonna have pockets? You're not always going to have the car drive for you. You're not always gonna be alone. You're not always going to have a wallet in your pocket. What if there isn't a bathroom? Your assisted parking is not always going to be working when you want to parallel park your car. You won't always have me around to make sure you get off the computer and go to sleep at some point. You're not always gonna carry your Oculus. You're not always going to have clean water. Remember when America was a thing? You can't get a good job unless you go to college. It's not like I can read your mind. Your surrogate body might break one day, you should learn how to walk IRL. I don't even have to touch my phone. Siri does everything for me. You can't have autocorrect every time you have to write. Go to the bathroom now. Who knows the next time we will stop? Well, you better go now. The store's probably closing soon. Hey, call the insurance company and see if we're covered for dental checkups. You find the remote? Hopefully it still has some battery left. They fired me and then I got cancer a month later. They saw it coming, I guess, on my Fitbit data, I guess, and didn't want to pay. You can't drive when you are this drunk. What's the password? Everything will be voice, face or fingerprint scanned and then transferred to any guests if necessary. The climate. Real-time translation. No language barrier, so no need to learn another language. You're not always gonna have a power bank in your pocket. You won't have net neutrality everywhere. You are not going to always have a hologram in your pocket. What are you gonna do when your microchip software is out of date? Probably more like 200 years from now. But wireless electricity could be a thing. Right? It would end up being really quaint for people to read about batteries, cords, chargers, outlets, etc. You're not going to have affordable healthcare in every country. You better learn how to spell. The automated spell checker in the Neuralink will not be there all the time.